You know what time it is.
Pop a top again.
If that wasn't country rolling you just heard, well then that means the asshole copyright struck me and I had to put in some other old fuck. Point is, we're popping the top, and that means we're about to drop a video, that is. And by we, I mean me, because GoonTick is still in his I'm a cool, rebellious teenager stage. Anyway, I gotta do something on my own again, guy. So I got a bunch of stuff here. I gotta put it up, can't just have it be clogging up the works. Like the works are currently clogging up my arteries. So, you know, let's do a little haul. Let's have a little ball, guy. Straight out the gate, I'm going to tell you that there's a bunch of stuff that we found at Ross's and Five Below's and all that shit. Because apparently the good old toy industry continues to plummet. Which, you know, bad news for people selling toys. Good news for people buying them. We're going to start off with these Pops. You know, the thing that everybody's like, oh, that industry is dying. It might be. But I hate when people compare the death of Pops to, you know, Beanie Babies. I mean, Beanie Babies were in and out the door, like, immediately, man. Pops have been going around for a good long while, so if they're dying, it's about time. You know, so let's not pretend that it's the same. I will say that the company is doing a little bit of overreach, putting out too much stuff. But by this point, that's what you expect. Anyway, Peacemaker, Vigilante from the show, which apparently, you know, it's just adding to the confusion. James Gunn just said, like, yeah, season 2 of the show is not going to be connected to season 1 at all. You know, every time James Gunn speaks his mind to clarify things just get more confusing. So I'm just going to leave it at that. If you like the first season, I guess it's in the old universe, and there's going to be completely, I'm sure they'll acknowledge in some way. Speaking of things that died, here's a Captain Marvel pop. Got this because it was $4 at the Target. Haven't seen the Marvels movie, but I did like the first one. Controversial? I don't think so. It's an okay movie. Stop getting your panties in a bunch about it to this day. This was something that I had been looking at in a local toy group. And, you know, I didn't have any cash. But some floated my way, and like a fool, I immediately was like, I gotta get that. And the guy still had it. So, you know, I got it for $25. This is like going for like $80 at the moment in the secondary market. But it's the Arkham Asylum Harley. Not a huge fan of this design per se, but I am a Harley guy, and this is cool looking and mad cheap. So I had to jump on it. Thoughts? Speaking of mad cheap, old GoonTick, before he fried his fucking griddle. I don't know what that means. Let's pretend fried his griddle is a thing. He found this on, I think, a Big Bad Toy Store for like $14 or $12 or some shit. It's this white armor Doomslayer. I didn't get the green armor Doomslayer. So it would probably be like a repaint job. Or I don't know. Maybe it looks pretty cool. So, you know, I'll just keep it like that. Worst case scenario. That green armor ones, that's out of there, guy. You want to get that, you got to sell like a baby or something. And I ain't got no babies. May look like I got one in my stomach brewing, but I don't. Yummy. I need to get another one of these, I'm not going to lie, because he's my boy, man. But probably not. Vincent Price, Toonie Terrors. Absolutely love Vincent Price, as you all know, and Toonie Terrors is my current favorite toy line. So, I mean, come on, guy. Perfect combination to add to my Egghead collection. That's a thing I own. So yeah, this is cool, man. Though we got a NECA Vincent Price coming up soon that I'm super excited about. Need to buy 1 million of those. Found this Owlman. Boom. Owlman in a Walmart marked down to 12 buccarinos. If you don't know who Owlman is, that's okay. That just means you're not a super geek. But basically, he's like, you know, Batman's evil brother, basically, you know, to get that soap opera effect going on there. And, you know, leader, or one of the leaders of basically evil version of the Justice League called the Crime Syndicate. So that's Owlman right there. It's supposed to be one of those, like, you know, sought-after gold labels where that boy was reduced faster than it got there, guy. What is that? Next, we got this old boy that GoonTick actually got for himself. But again, he was in his non-asshole stage at the time, so he was like, you can have it. And I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna say no to that. And that's this Moss Man. He already has a Moss Man, and I think he just ended up getting another one. I think he just likes, I was gonna say Mice Men. I think he just likes Moss Boys, so you know, he's getting them. So it's also reduced. This fucking thing, when it came out, it was $50, man. Come on, man, what are you doing? $50 for this? I mean, at least it has a few accessories, but anyway, the point is, it was mad reduced because all of a sudden it was flooded. The aisles were flooded with him, and they were like, we gotta get rid of this crap. So that's cool for anybody that's looking for, without, you know, having to lose a nut. So he's gonna be up in the old Motu collection. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Speaking of Motu, the old the old Five Belows just got this line that has a Sorceress, Manny Faces, Shadow Weaver, and Pighead. We didn't even see these things on the shelf, and they're just in Five Below, guy. So I got Shadow Weaver because you know, the bad guys in Motu are always kind of more interesting looking, and also you know, my bad guy side needed a few. So there she is. She has like this weird, like mossy looking ass growth on her teeth. Probably not going to be captured on there, but trust me, there's like a weird fuzziness on there, so I'm just hoping it's like some stray paint that I can wipe off. But we'll find out, 'cause she's going to get unboxed. The last time I showed that I found some Princess Bride figures in the Ross, and once again, Ross pulled through. We found the Dread Pirate Roberts normal version. You know, no, not like a bloody variant or anything like that. So that's cool. He actually doesn't have that gross ass 5 o'clock shadow that the other one had. And we found old boy Fezzik, aka Andre the Giant, massive boy, $5, man. So that's pretty cool. All of a sudden, I have a freaking Princess Bride collection courtesy of Ross. And this one I had pre-ordered about a month previous, because I was like, that's the only way I'm gonna get that boy. Never gonna see these anywhere. I have yet. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. Recently, we saw our first Movie Maniacs from the new McFarlane Movie Maniacs series, and it was Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, and he looked mad weird. But we haven't seen any of the other ones. You'd think we'd see a Ted Lasso or two, since they were apparently releasing 10 million of him. But anyway, the new Movie Maniacs lines come in these big boxes, and they're limited, you know, different numbers per piece. So far, none of them have been Maniacs, unless Ted Lasso's an insane psychopath. I don't know, I haven't seen the show, maybe he is. But, well, I guess there's a Wicked Witch of the West being released. Maybe I'd venture to say a bad guy witch is probably a maniac, but they've generally just been normal ass people. Well, finally we got one that's not only a maniac per se, but he's from a fucking horror movie, so that counts, and that vibes with the original Movie Maniacs. So that's Red Miller, as played by Nicolas Cage from Mandy. The likeness is not amazing, but it does the job, you know. I'm going to take it out of this box, man. I mean, I'm an inbox collector for the most part, but this box is atrocious. Look at this shit, man. It's too big. There's too little inside, and it's got this ugly art right here. You know, I'm gonna take them out and just put them in my horror figure loose horror figure collection. Take up less real estate. But that's pretty cool, man. Big Mandy fan, so that was kind of exciting to see. I had to secure it, man. Oh shit! How dare I forget? Speaking of horror, I found somebody local that was selling this damn thing that I never saw on the you know, in the stores, and he was selling it for $5, guys. So I had to get it. I had to drive like 20 minutes to get it, but $5, guy, brand new. And that's John Nada, Roddy Piper from They Live. Yeah, man. Still got his little glasses. Still got the little thing holding his glasses on. So that's going to go in my John Carpenter collection. Pretty cool find right there. This is pretty cool, but at the same time, the He doesn't fit in with the rest of the Toonie Terrors. What's his fucking name? Man, I forget his damn name, man. I stared at this board for like 5 minutes trying to remember the damn name, and I still can't. But anyway, the Doug Jones character from Hocus Pocus, he's a little bigger than the rest of the Toonie Terrors, but it's clearly in that line. But since he's owned by Disney, they probably like, we can't have him next to horror characters. Breaking news, Disney. Hocus Pocus is a horror comedy, so, I mean, come on, guy. There's also this little guy that I forgot because I had already hung him up behind me. The Fiend, Misfits, mascot, I guess, for lack of better words, that Danzig totally stole without permission. But, yeah, a little Toonie Terror of him. Pretty freaking rad. Now, I've had this for, like 2 months. Keep on forgetting to bring it up. But it's this McFarlane Collector's Edition Wonder Woman, which I got from my boy Doc. I had visited him about a couple of months ago, and he had this, and I passed on it when I was there, and I had to go back the next day and get it, man. I just couldn't let this go. Great Wonder Woman figure. Totally worth it. So I also found a bunch of movies, mainly at charity shops and shit like that. But I put most of them already into the shelf there of my collection. So I'm going to show you the ones that I have here that I haven't put up yet. And I'm just going to kind of list off the other ones and then to show you right somewhere around here, which ones they are. But the ones I have here is the Carrie Steelbook. Now, the only reason for a guy that doesn't like Steelbooks, I own quite a number of them. But they're always because the ones I own is because it's a good deal. I got them for cheap. Or it's like the only way I could get that movie. So, in the case of Carrie, I have the MGM disc, but the transfer on that's pretty ass. This thing is a thing that I got, man. What the fuck? Sometimes you're at a charity shop and you're at a shop and you're just like, it's cheap. And I don't know, man. Reason leaves your mind. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. God-awful movie. I mean, I'll granted this, it's better than the first movie, but it's not better in a good way. It's better because it has a lot more weird-looking shit in it. Graphically, it looks better. That's about it. That's the only way it's better. Both of them are garbage movies. I'd rather own this one than the first one. But now that I have this one, if I ever found the first one cheap, I'll be like, I guess I'll get it. What is this, man? I don't know. It was $1, guy. Speaking of bucks, Focus here with Will Smith, which, historically I do not like. And Margot Robbie, which I do like. But, again, this was a $1 find. It was kind of been interesting watching. It's like a con movie. It always seemed like $5 was too much because these were one of those that are always in those $5 bins. But $1, not gonna pass on it. So there you go. Here's another Bim Boy, and to top it all off, it was a rental, as you can see, preview. Snake Eyes, the much maligned sequel to, or not, a prequel to G.I. Joe. I guess it's in that continuity. There's nothing really that says otherwise. Either way, as far as G.I. Joe movies, this is definitely the best one. So there you go. Not that that's a high bar to beat, because the other two are hot dog shit. But, it got a lot of flack, but I thought it was pretty fun, actually, I was like, I wish there was a second one, because though this story closes off, it leaves you with the now typical, little bait for a sequel there. And I was like, that would have been fun to see that one. Is it, it's not Oscar material here, folks, but not everything has to be, right? This is an ugly looking movie, and I only got it because everybody seems to be blowing its balls, and also it was $1. And that's the Box Trolls. I saw this the week before, and I was like, if it's here next week, I'm going to get it. Because, apparently people that watched it love it. So, I don't know, man. It's worth a shot for $1. Box Trolls. That's embarrassing, too, in a sense. This was a good find. It's Spectre, the Steelbook. Again, don't care for Steelbooks, but I didn't have Spectre, and there you go. It was relatively cheap. okay looking steelbook, I guess. I mean, it's not. I guess there's something to be said about minimalism, but it's all scratched up, so who gives a shit? It's also got this weird. Let me see if I can get the light on it. Come on, baby. There you go. Weird ass stain on it. What is that, man? Specter of jizz on it. Then there was Talk to Me. One of the better horror movies of last year. That kind of caught everybody by surprise because everybody's like, YouTubers can make good movies? That's weird. Not used to that at all. And let me read off the ones that I got that I already put up. Toy Story. Boom. You know, you gotta have Toy Story in your collection. Why didn't I have it? Didn't want to pay for it. $1? Sure. Zootopia, which old boy GoonTick insisted that I own. So I was like, I mean, if you're gonna get it, I'm not gonna say no. And he got it. Let me tell you, he got it. Life as We Know It. This is a movie that I got basically because I have to make sacrifices when I watch movies with my mom. She's not really big into horror or sci-fi or, you know, headier material or drama, or she's not into a lot of things. But, you know, something like this she'll probably enjoy. I've seen it before, you know, it's a thing. It's not horror, it's definitely it's a thing. There was like a slew of movies post Pulp Fiction that really wanted to go for that Tarantino-esque feel, and this was one of them. I don't think it ever achieves that at all, but it was one of those movies that had a little cult because of that. Now the disc, that's the gamble, because this is an early Lionsgate disc, and those tended to fucking crap out. There was something wrong with the way they pressed them. So we'll see if it even plays. Magnificent Seven, the remake. I haven't seen that, but GoonTick found that and gave it to me. So, you know, it's got my boy the Dens in it, so worth a shot. Like me a good Western every now and then. Hopefully it is. Love the original. Love the Seven Samurai, which, you know, it's obviously culls a lot of inspiration from. That being a classic from what Al would call Akira Kurosawa. I don't know who that guy is, but he should probably watch some Kurosawa movies. Student of film and all that he is. Breakfast at Tiffany's with a highly offensive Mickey Rooney portrayal of a Japanese man, which is not the reason you should watch it, but also if you do, you're going to be like, yeah, it's bad. Becky, this was a Big Lots find. This was a really fun movie. You know, you want to see old boy Kevin James as a neo-Nazi asshole getting beat up on by a little girl. This is the movie for you. And that's basically the gist of the movie. It's hella fun, though. Got a sequel, haven't seen it. But if it's anything like that one, it'll be a blast. Detective D and whatever this fucking title says, because I can't remember. Asian movie. Chinese, I think. I mean, obviously. I guess we'll see. I can't really tell you anything about it other than it was cheap. It looked interesting. Had some blurbs. You can always trust them blurbs on the cover, right? My week with Marilyn. You know, that was a movie that came and went. Made a bigger impression than that other Marilyn movie. So that's a thing. I like Michelle Williams, man. There's something about her that's always struck me as she could be bigger than she actually is. But I suppose that going from Dawson's Creek to headlining a Marilyn movie, that's a pretty big leap. So I guess she is exactly where she wants to be. Oh wait, she's in Venom and Venom 2 and probably Venom 3. That sucks for her. Got Homefront. Again, this was one of those impulse. It's $1. Let's see how it is. Statham movie, so chances are high that it's gonna stink. So we'll see what's up with that. Totally forgot about a bag that I had down here. Let me see. We got a boom Nosferatu. Now this is the of course classic depiction of. I mean, it's Dracula. It's basically just Dracula the movie, right? But you know, they didn't want to pay for no rights back then, so they just straight up made their own version. Nosferatu is a favorite of GoonTick's. And he thinks he owns the guy, as in, like, literally nobody can enjoy Nosferatu but him. That's weird, isn't it? But he was at least kind enough to get me this. Now, had this been after his insane era, he probably would have spat in my fucking asshole and gone, bye, sucker. But he didn't. So there you go. Thor, the mighty Thor. from Love and Thunder, which is undoubtedly a fucking garbage movie. But I mainly got this because it was a Natalie Portman figure. And, you know, you can't really hold it against the actors that they were in a gigantic piece of fucking garbage. Certainly not against my boy Russell Crowe. Had to burp. That's cool. Found this, and thankfully also found one for GoonTick that he'd been looking for. And we haven't seen any since after that. And that is the Bale Batman, the Christian Bale Batman from The Dark Knight. As the lighting situation is assholes. But there you go. It's cool. I don't have a Bale bat, so that was a good find. And more importantly for me, for my fucking and Catwoman collection, and half Catwoman guy, which is a platinum one, I believe, or I think so, right? Oh yeah, yeah, it is. So it's even, they only put one per box of this fucking thing. So you know, I found them. Somebody had hidden them in the clearance section. Not a good place to hide thing, guy, because I sure as hell found them right away and scooped it. Man, I was so lucky that I had money. You know, usually don't. And I just happened to go like, oh, you know, it's when I went and bought that old Harley there. I was like, I got a few bucks. Maybe I'll find something at the old Target. And boom, jackpot. So that's pretty cool, man. Anyway, that's everything in the video. Let me know what you think was ass and what you think was class. In the meantime, I'm out.